Connor, was there any disappointment from the team to draw a conference opponent in this bowl matchup?
No, not really. I mean, obviously there's kind of like the unknown of going and playing someone in the ACC, but no, Alamo Bowl got first choice, so we're glad we were picked first.
And for you, you just got to ask with all the you being a senior, you planning on playing in this one, and maybe your mental mindset coming into this game?
Yeah, I'm playing, no doubt.
What's your thoughts on playing in your last game as a BYU Cougar?
I don't know if I have much thoughts on it. I don't know if I think it'll probably set in more, when the game's over and you're walking off the field and you realize, you're never going to wear that uniform again. Because I don't feel like much emotion about it right now, just thinking about it, but also because it's still a few weeks away. I'm not quite in it yet, but these last couple months have been interesting. A lot of lasts for me at BYU, which is kind of strange feeling.
Connor, I just asked Lonnie this, but I'm curious from your perspective. The sting of missing the bowl game was something you guys pointed to during the offseason, said that made a big difference in that edge. And Kalani said that there's a similar sting from missing the conference title game and the college football playoff being so close. How important is it for next year's leaders to use every motivation you can to put in all of that work to make the next year's team the best it can be, like you guys did last year?
I think extremely important is because you have to find as many ways as possible to manufacture that drive and that motivation to carry you through the grind of an off season, because it's long. It's long and it's grueling, and you do a lot of the same things every day, and so sometimes it can be tough to be motivated to go out and attack every day the best you can, but I think it's definitely something that they should use, as motivation for next year, just as a reminder for them, to look at the stepping stones of how this last offseason went and how that carried into this season, and how can you reinforce those things and then build upon them so they can be even better.
Go ahead, Jay Drew, and then Sean Walker.
Connor, obviously Colorado has a more famous coach. They got a guy that's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Basically, they're the marquee team in this bowl game. How does that resonate with you guys? Do you care? Does that even make it even more special to be able to play those guys?
No, don't really care too much. I mean, obviously it's going to attract a lot of eyes, which is great. A lot of people are going to be watching BYU football on the 28th.
Go ahead, Sean.
I had something, Connor, but you mentioned something with Jared there that I kind of want to follow up a little bit on it, because you've experienced sort of both sides of the coin now in your college career of not playing in the postseason versus playing in the postseason. What's kind of the biggest difference in sort of this month, maybe the first month of the off season, when you're going to a bowl game versus when you're coming off of missing a bowl game like you guys did last year? What's kind of the number one thing that you like, the number one difference that you kind of feel in your gut, I guess, about that?
Well, I'm at the facility. I'm not at home. Number one, the last year was that last game of the regular season, and you knew it was over. Like there was no coming back for meetings again the next week and prepping for another game. That was it. And then for me at that time, I was still thinking, that was the end of my BYU career. And so, obviously very different emotionally, and had to do a lot of thinking and praying to figure out what the next steps in my life were going to be, which obviously brought me back here. But, just to be back and the opportunity to get to play football more. It's your opportunities are so limited. And so just getting a chance to go out there and practice, and play football with your teammates. You get one more game, and, you have to cherish that, especially for us seniors. This is our last chance.
And then I did want to ask you about your coach, because he doesn't like to talk about himself too much. He prefers to talk about you guys. But Kalani signs an extension that kind of, I'll be totally honest, kind of caught me off guard, because the press release hit my inbox at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, which just surprised me in general. But
yeah.
How much does your coach kind of deserve to have sort of that long-term certainty after what you see out of him, not just this year, but over the course of your career?
Yeah, no, he deserves it for sure. He's deserved it for a long time. I'm glad they finally got it done. And I don't think there's a better man to lead BYU than Kalani, and all you have to do is spend a few minutes with him, and you can just tell that he resonates everything that BYU represents. And for me as a player, I've got to be around that leadership for the last 4.5 years and have a kind of a living representation of the man that I want to be one day, leading our team. And it's easy to have the desires to do the right thing and to do what's best for the team when you have a leader like that. And he's turned down a lot of money and a lot of other opportunities to stay here, because he loves this school, and he loves us as players. And I think it's finally, hopefully, obviously we don't know any details or anything like that, but I hope that the school's rewarding him for that, rewarding him for his loyalty and, everything he's done for the program, leading us. 3 10-win seasons in the last 5 years there is a very short list of coaches who have done that in the country, and I promise you he's the lowest paid one. So, I'm really glad they were able to get this done, and I hope he's here for decades more.
Okay, we'll take our last question from Mitch Harper.
Connor, I just wanted to ask you, your brother signed last week. He's going to continue the pay family pipeline, if you will, at BYU. Just what does that mean that the pay name will continue with both of your brothers at BYU going forward?
It's cool. It's cool. We were talking about it last night at family dinner that there will have been a pay on the roster from 2020 to 2031. So it's 11 years of our family being connected to this program, and obviously the best one is leaving here in a couple weeks. So hopefully, we'll see that. Hopefully they can make it out of my shadow. I guess we'll find out here in a few years. But no, I'm just teasing. But no, it's a cool thing for our family because obviously I've talked about it before how much BYU and BYU football means to us, and how much it's given to our family. And so to have that continued on it's a special thing for us for sure.
Thanks so much, Connor. That's all the questions for today.
Okay, thanks guys. See ya.